inflation. But since 2020, 53 cents of every dollar has gone to profits. Mm-hmm. So if we give somebody just more money and we do that, they're going to take it. Is there a better way? Is it creating very heavy taxes for corporations whose employees are all on government assistance because they're not paying a living wage with record profits? Is it that we have to stop giving massive tax breaks, or we only start giving tax breaks for reinvestment in communities and employees instead of tax breaks for literally anything except that? But I don't, do you think that giving more money could ever come or curtailing their ability to take all of it?
Yes. And in that, let me say, I don't think there's a silver bullet here. I don't think one fix is ever going to address the problem, because as you make the point, there's just so many ways they can do an end run around whatever improvement gets passed. That's why, to my mind, as someone who's been active on a whole lot of issues over my my time, my decades in political activism, I've really covered the waterfront in a whole lot of different issues. And I've really become quite convinced any one issue, you can't fix this around the margins. The essential thing that has to happen is that there has to be a kind of reclaiming of our power of democracy, which is that we, the people, need to be running the show. Right now, it's the lobbyists and the corporations who are running the show. Whatever policy you look at, they are running the show. So the overarching answer here is not this policy or that policy. It's basically an issue of power. It's a matter of restoring power to the people. That's what a democracy is supposed to be. And there are many fixes for that, and it's really inseparable from a democracy agenda that gets money out, gets people back in, that makes it possible for people to have meaningful choices in our elections, not just have these two zombie candidates from two zombie parties forced down our throats. It's all of these solutions that basically put us as voters, we the people, back into the driver's seat. So we're not just subservient to big corporations who, for whom we are just fodder for the latest profits. We have to really think big here, and we have to really go for big system change at the same time that we're implementing a very specific agenda.
Thank you so much. We have one, I'm going to come to next door, but I have one question that's a very short yes, no, probably, that came from the comments on this issue. Matt in the comments asked, do you support a federal tax, a prohibitive federal tax on large corporations, hedge funds, private equity funds owning single family home residences in any significant number?
Well, yes. And, I'm not sure exactly which particular tax and so on, exactly what the way is to control this. But this is not impossible. This is really critical. We have to prevent corporations from buying, and these private equity firms from buying up our housing. This is absolutely outrageous. And there are various ways to approach that, but yes, it absolutely must be done.
Thank you. All right, so Savage Poultry, first of all, I love your handle. You've never been up in one of our town halls before, so I'm really pleased to welcome you up. I'm glad you're here. I've seen you down in the comments participating. I haven't gotten to talk to you yet, but so this may not be the perfect segue to your question. I apologize. I try to thread a needle as it goes to keep the conversation going, but what question did you have for Dr. Stein this evening? Oh, let me unmute you. Hold on, I gotta unmute you. Let me try this again. Wait. We can't hear you. There it is. Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
First off, Tiffany, thank you for your coverage of the Libertarian Party National Convention. Great. Thank you for calling out Trump and his goons for trying to take the thing over. That was very brown shirt-esque of him. But anyway, I'm worried about the third party vote being split between, so many people. And like, I know like Chase Oliver is probably not going to win. He's not going to get but the 2% that Trump was, disrespecting our party with. So, you're only going to get 2%. So what's the point? Join me. Okay. Well, coming off like, Lord Vader's boss from Star Wars. Like, we're not going to join the dark side. We've come this far into a third party candidacy because we see the problems with the two existing parties. that are basically all at the same party together, eating from the same trough at our expense, and this warfare state that needs to be dismantled. I see the Green Party wanting to dismantle the warfare state. I see the Libertarian Party wanting to dismantle the warfare state, to defund AIPAC, defund the Israel war lobby. Okay, all these core things that we all want. And like I even, like, all my neighbors, like, I'm a first generation farmer trying to build a farm for my kid. All my neighbors around here, they're all Trump voting farmers, but the only reason they're voting for Trump still is because they're clinging to that $1.50 a gallon that they remembered, and from that they paid for gas, 4 years ago. And like with inflation, like those numbers are never coming back, and they just don't get it. You know what I mean? And Trump printed money too. Biden just picked up where he left off. It's all two arms of the same monster. So the people got to get together on this third party thing. But can the third party candidates get together? Is there any possibility that we can do like what they do in Europe, where different minority parties actually get together on a single ticket to accomplish something and take the monster down? Can we have a libertarian Green Party anti-war one ticket candidacy? Is it possible? Can we make it happen? And can we actually, I know a lot of libertarians like myself, we're willing to work across the aisle with the Green Party to actually like get some stuff done. Things that we do have in common, like the warfare state has to go. And even people who disagree with a lot of the programs that people on the left want, well, like, if it's a choice between bombs that are going to kill little kids overseas or paying off your niece's, school debt, like, I'd rather the money stayed here. Like, and I think most people, even on the right here in the U.S., we all agree on that, and we all have the same problem at the grocery store. We all have the same problem at the gas pump, the same problem with wages. Like, and I think we're all starting to see like this same problem, and we're just kind of pinned between, like that South Park episode where you have to vote giant douche or turd sandwich, and I think that's really what our choices are like, and more Americans are starting to see that. So that really is the case. That's the reality for us, and it can't be. It just can't be. So, like, is it possible to have? And would it be legal to do it here, to have a multi-party coalition ticket the way that they've done it in European democracies?
That's a great question, and I would love to know Jill's answer. I don't know, so I would love to hear.
Yeah, and the issue is not only Greens and Libertarians, it's also Cornel West, it's PSL. There are lots of subdivisions. And let me say, the Libertarians have always been on the ballot across the country. The Greens have typically been on just about all the ballots. We were on 47 last time. This time we're going for 50. But the other candidates pretty much fall off. They're only on the ballot in a handful of states. So they are not, what can I say? They are really important voices, but they're really not going to be there as choices. They are not going to be on the ballot at the end of the day. They're not going to be choices. So yeah, between Greens and Libertarians, there is so much common ground. And, there are...
Oh, hold on. She's getting a phone call. Dr. Biden, when you come back in, you might need to...
Let's see.
It might echo. I apologize. Let's do a testing real quick. Can you say testing for me?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Are you hearing me? Okay, sorry. I went into low power mode there.
Oh, I see.
Privilege. Such a privilege to be able to.
Hold on. She's coming back, guys. I'm going to send the request for her camera back. Low power mode kills the camera. We get it.
Are you seeing me now?
Sarah, you're perfect.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right, good. All right, good save. Yeah. So I just want to point out that Greens and Libertarians are doing a debate series together through Free and Equal debates. And there's a debate coming up. When is it? July 12th. There's a
we just
debate.
Invited to cover it. Are you going to be at Freedom Fest?
Yes, in Las Vegas.
Excited. I'm going to be covering Freedom Fest. Awesome. Well, you guys will get a live stream of it.
Okay, great. Yeah, and there's been a lot of collaboration and mutual support between Greens and Libertarians because we share the whole anti-war, civil liberties agenda. So we've got a lot in common. And the more we can, build solidarity, I think the better, in all kinds of ways. The other progressives, I think, are kind of going to be in the background because they're actually not going to be on the ballot in significant numbers.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you guys have had a long-standing mutual support with the Libertarian Party, though, is what you have said.
The mic's still on?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. And I apologize for misspeaking, guys. I had 3 canceled flights overnight. I haven't been to bed yet, and I woke up at 5 a.m.
Can we add?
West Coast. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I didn't mean to. I had the word written in front of me, and I said it out loud from a comment.
Oh.
I apologize, guys. I did not.
All right. No worries.
All right. Were you trying to ask a short follow-up? Because I do need to come to Justin. Are we good? Justin, did you have a question for Dr. Stein this evening?
Hey, yeah. First, I would like to thank you. I'm the one that got you here, Jill.
Thank you, Justin.
I would also like to shout out to Subliminal Nation and Weeds Gaming. They're all out here fighting for you every day. They're the ones who turned me onto your platform. So, yeah, definitely got to give them support. But I'm going to be a little bit more controversial than everybody else. I'm sure you're already familiar with it. So something we haven't heard tonight is how we would deal with the media and the propaganda that is used against us, which has been used against you in the past, as you can tell if you've read any of these comments, because they all call you Putin's puppet. A lot of my followers love your stance on everything, but because they seen that picture of you over there in the diplomatic meeting where you only had one English-speaking person there to talk to, I know the story. I'm just wanting to know if you can clarify a little bit on that, and tell us if you're going to give Ukraine the same kind of energy that you're going to give Gaza.
Oh, and believe me, I already do. And one of the things that the Libertarians and the Greens collaborated on was a series of demonstrations and rallies calling for an end to the proxy war in Ukraine. I think it was called Rage Against the War Machine, was a rally that we did together, very much in support of an end to this horrific war, which is, a disaster above all for the people of Ukraine. This is a war that the U.S. wants to see Ukraine fight to the last Ukrainian, and that's exactly what's going on. Their interests are not being served. There are diplomatic ways out of this that have always been on the table, and the U.S., together with the UK, have disrupted those diplomatic solutions. So absolutely, this is a very, very dangerous, slippery slope towards nuclear confrontation going on right now in Ukraine. And, about the Putin puppet thing, well, I was investigated for 3 years by the Senate Intelligence Committee because of that rumor mongering, which was really an effort. That was the empire fighting back. They got really scared by the amount of support that came into our campaign in 2016. So they basically launched this Russiagate smear campaign. Be very, very wary of the propaganda from the empire. They do not like it when you begin to threaten their hegemony. And if you put out some ideas about, a more peaceful world and how we could better use our resources instead of spending half of our congressional budget on endless wars that make the world, on fire all over the world, they're going to come after you, and consider it a badge of honor that they've come after me. And, I've been suppressed on social media and shadow banned ever since, and I was investigated for 3 years. They were trying to find some way to criminalize me around a visit to an international media conference in Moscow, where that picture was snapped during the few minutes that Putin sat at that table. I would have loved to have talked to him because I was actually challenging the bombing of Syria that he had just begun. That was part of my message. I went to Moscow to speak to international media about 3 things: banning nuclear weapons, creating a peace offensive in the Middle East to end all these endless wars, and a global climate Green New Deal, a global Green New Deal to address the climate crisis. I wish our elected leaders had the backbone to actually follow in suit here. This is very much what we need. We need a foreign policy based on diplomacy and international law, not on just, raw military might and conflict, which they're all about. So John Kennedy, made the statement, we must not negotiate out of fear, but we must not fear to negotiate. We have to talk to our adversaries as well as our allies. And they tried to concoct this conspiracy theory out of it and tried to get me into trouble, like as if I was on Putin's payroll. And, the Senate Intelligence Committee looked into all of that very carefully. Did you see any indictments coming out of that? No, you did not. They basically gave me a complete clean bill of health. But the crazies out there want to keep that going and want to keep the smear campaign going. There's absolutely nothing to it. So, end of story.
Thank you, Dr.
I know I'm sorry to even ask that question, but that is the most asked question that I get. And I think that that's the biggest point to these town halls, is to address the things that the people have the biggest problems with. And the people that support you already know you better than that. But yeah, I'm sorry to ask that question.
And I would just point out that this is the empire continuing to strike back. They are very afraid. They don't have a new smear campaign because I've been out there too long. So they're just trying to rerun the old smear campaigns. But it's really important, for people to go to our website, to follow us on social media, and you'll see this stuff answered in the record and in real time. This is BS. This is their propaganda campaign because they're quaking in their boots. They are really afraid because people are in a, there's an uprising going on right now, and they know that people are not happy with them. So they are trying to destroy us, to tie us up in court, to throw us off the ballot. They are running scared, which is a sign of our strength. Go to JillStein2024.com. Right now, we are fighting to get on the ballot so that there will be an anti-genocide, pro-worker climate emergency campaign. And we have a lot in common with the libertarians on some of that, but there are other issues that people feel pretty passionately about having living wages, about having health care as a human right, about answering our climate crisis. And we are the one campaign that brings all of that stuff together. And so we really encourage people to join in our ballot drives right now. We're fighting in Indiana and Illinois in particular, where they're trying to keep us off the ballot with these outrageous ballot drive requirements. And, you can help carry petitions, you can sign a petition, you can make a contribution to help us fight in court. This is a knockdown, drag out, fight to the finish with the empire that does not want competition and which is trying to silence us and silence the American people from standing up and voting for what it is that we desperately need now. So let's, they ain't seen nothing yet. And go to our website to join the team. We've got some really great fights going, which are really critical for us all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stein. I'm gonna start to close down the live, everybody. She has given us far more time than we were entitled to, I promise you. What I want to do is I want to remind everybody that the way you can stay informed, because in this channel we respect each other, we respectfully disagree, but what we do is we learn from everyone and every voice. We support everyone's right to vote for whoever speaks to them. We encourage you to vote for who gives you hope, not who fills you with the most rage to get you to vote a certain way. And we encourage you to be educated. If you enjoyed tonight, follow all these creators. Please follow Dr. Stein. Please follow Tony. Follow Ian. Follow James. Follow Purple USA. Follow Wicked Witch of the West. Follow Amy Nelson if you want to support their battles, their fights, or what brought them here. We are very hopeful, Dr. Stein, that you'll come back on and visit us again.
I'd love to. I think this is great. This is exactly what democracy needs. Keep it up. We need more of this, and I'd love to participate anytime.
I think we're going to see north of 70,000 through the live tonight. Based on what I'm seeing early, I think we're well north of that. I've written down over 140 questions we never got to in the comments. So everybody, please go follow the creators, follow Dr. covering Freedom Fest debate in mid-July. So everybody stick around if you want to see these third-party candidates debating one another on the stage. We would absolutely love to have you streaming with us there. And I don't want anybody to forget, we have more upcoming town halls coming up. Dr. Stein, when you come back next time, we can do open forum like this, or we can choose a single topic you really are very passionate about. With that, I am going to start dropping folks down out of the live. Just everybody, please, thank you. Thank you for being here. It has been a privilege and honor to have you. Thank you for trusting us to bring constituents and candidates closer together. And for everyone in the comments that knows they want to vote for Dr. Stein, for everyone that knows they want to vote for another third-party candidate, for everyone that knows you want to vote for one of the two primary parties, as long as you respect each other when you talk about it in here, we want you here and we want you to come back. Because we're all going to become better when we talk to each other like this, and when we don't allow them to tell us that we should disagree with each other, and that means we can't discuss and learn from each other anymore. I'll remind everybody we are back this Thursday. We are going to have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on. The topic this Thursday is the sickening of America. We're going to be talking about big ag, big pharma. And if you're interested in that topic, Dr. Stein, we'd love to have you back on to have that one too. So please, I would love to be in contact. We can do other topics with you down the road, because we want the candidates at their fingertips on election day. We want voter access. We want them signing petitions, whether they want that candidate or not. We want them on the ballot. And with that, guys, we are going to bring to a close our third presidential series TikTok Town Hall this evening. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. I will get your team a full downloaded video of this. It will take a few days because it takes them a few days to process it. And otherwise, we're going to start dropping everyone out.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being here.
Peace out, everybody.
So grateful.
Great show, Tiffany. Great job. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work.
Thanks
To
for
all
being
of
here.
you. Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm dropping everybody down. How, what did everybody think? You guys are still up here. I'm gonna close it, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope everybody enjoyed the entire evening. It has certainly been all the rage in the comments. So there's lots to unpack from this one, guys. And I'll get some sound bites and clips posted in the next couple weeks. It will take TikTok a while to process one this long. Like, I can get a low quality version right away, but it's later. So I'll work on that. I'm going to stress again, everybody, please go follow our creators. For whoever is making cool things on the bottom of the screen, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All of us up here work for free, but it's worth it. It really is. And I hope you guys all see value